Hello and welcome to the Confusion Wrestling Podcast, the last bastion of independent wrestling. I'm your host, Rob Kammer, and, well, what should we talk about this week? I hear New Orleans isn't hosting WrestleMania anymore. That's kind of interesting. Haven't announced where it's going to be. What are the odds that it's in, like, say, like Mexico City or, dare I say, Saudi Arabia? But, you know how I feel about talking about WWE stuff on here. We're not going to do that. We don't talk about sports entertainment, and we really don't talk about where the best allegedly wrestle either. So it's been kind of quiet on the other front. We could kick it up old school and talk about the latest free agents to come out of Major League Wrestling, but well, you know how I feel about the pests and high positions in that organization. So let's just go ahead and move on. Had the pleasure of speaking with Tori Fox, a young graduate of the Black and Brave Wrestling Academy out of Davenport, Iowa, just starting out her career, but she's already got herself a fine group of people hanging around her in the form of Animosity, John Bonhart, and Mark Storm, all together to set the world of SCW Pro on fire. So we talk about that and much, much more in our interview. We'll just kind of segue off into that. Let's get our plugs in. Get yourself a coffee, get yourself some energy drinks, get yourself a whole coffee maker for crying out loud, and we'll be back. Un momento. Hey folks, MLW Confusion's become a veritable hub of shopping and treats and all that sort of good stuff. Whether you need a sugar-free alternative to energy drinks in the form of Raise Energy, or maybe even, top-of-the-line ice makers, coffee machines, and other household appliances, or, well, let's go crazy and you can even get WWE licensed apparel all through my links section. All you got to do is wander down to the descriptor of this week's episode, check out the various links, click on them, and go shopping like you normally would. Heck, it's no difference. You just came in and just said Rob sent you. And that way, you can get the things you need, maybe even at a discount, and the podcast gets a kickback as well. So be sure to check out those links. Thank you very much for listening. Back to the show. And we are back, the Confusion Wrestling Podcast. With me, as I said at the top of the show, special guest, one of the up-and-comers, fairly fresh out of the Black and Brave Wrestling Academy, part of Animosity, at least in SCW Pro, Tori Fox. Tori, how are you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing quite well. It's great to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You come highly recommended from friend of the show, Mark Storm.
Yes. I've seen that he speaks very highly of me. Not sure why.
Mark's putting the group over online and getting some heat on, for it too, for the podcast stuff.
He's got some real heat on it too, and so have I, oddly enough. So.
It was hilarious. That's off-screen anecdotes. Sad face for people who have to listen to the hour of in-jokes that are coming this way. But to the business at hand, I like to start every podcast with the always original, never asked before question. What got you into the wacky world of professional wrestling?
Oh, I'm 23 now. I was, I think, 10 years old. I can never remember if it was like 9 or 10, one of those. But my mom had a boyfriend at this time, and he was super into wrestling. Neither of my biological parents were ever super into wrestling, like, after I was born. Like, yes, the 90s, like, my dad was all about The Rock. But other than that, didn't really know anything about it. So this boyfriend that she had would watch Raw and SmackDown and order pay-per-views. So one day, little old me, I wandered into the living room and SmackDown was on. And I always remember what match it was. It was John Cena and The Big Show on some random SmackDown. And John Cena was like, I had like stars in my eyes. He like captivated me in a way that like, I have a really short attention span. So if you can get me to pay attention for more than like 5 minutes, like you're golden. So I was super interested in him. And then they cut to commercial or whatever. It was like 2011, so they had the Divas division. And I saw Kelly Kelly come out right after, and it like blew my mind that like girls did this too. And I was so fascinated. Like I watched the rest of the show, and then the rest is history. Like I went to my first show a couple months later. Um, I really was like, I really want to do this when I grow up. And yeah, I just feel like from the moment I saw it, I was like, that is what I want to do. Because there was always like show and tell at school, and it was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I never really had an answer. I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm 10. Why am I supposed to know this right now? But then from that point forward, whenever that question came about, I was like, I want to be a professional wrestler. And everybody laughed. But I stuck with it.
I say, who's laughing now, right?
Right, exactly. All those people that were laughing, old classmates, even my old teachers have messaged me on Facebook, and they're like, I'm so sorry for doubting you and making fun of you during class. So they got humbled, and it's really cool to look back on. And I'm not wrestling on TV. I don't have millions of fans around the world, but like I'm in like the baby steps of where I want to be and what I said I was gonna do. So
I mean, to be fair, you're just starting out your career, so like not very many people start out their career under the bright lights of WWE or
right.
AEW, or depending on what area you grew up in, WCW, AWA. The list goes on and on. Though I have to ask, you said you shortly after you kind of got hooked, you went to your first event. Was that a WWE event?
It
Or
was.
okay.
Yeah, I believe it was a Monday Night Raw. And I remember my mom at the time, my mom's boyfriend took me, and I have this picture still. It's me like second row in a Ryback shirt, and like Randy Orton's hitting the pose in the background, and I'm just sitting there like cheese. Like I loved John Cena, but for some reason a Ryback shirt was my first merch choice.
He kind of fell off the radar awfully quick, but for a brief period, about 2013 or so, like he was nearly top of the line. Probably
Yeah.
should have been top of the line, depending on how our theories of professional wrestling work out and whatnot. So I don't think there's that much shame in that.
I still have that shirt.
Nice. I wish I still had a couple of my older wrestling shirts. I think I still have a Dude Love shirt hiding in my closet, but you can't tell it's a Dude Love shirt anymore because almost all the print is washed off of it. Because I mean, let's face it, at this point that shirt's probably older than you. I mean, we're talking Dude Love here.
Maybe, yeah.
Pretty close. So it had been about probably 98 or so.
Yep, that was before me.
Aging myself on this here podcast, so much for putting myself over. But you've pretty much said you pretty much always wanted to become a professional wrestler, and it was kind of the thing. What I will then qualify it with, since obviously we know how this turned out. How did you end up at the Black and the Brave? What made you choose Black and Brave over, say, any number of other wrestling schools out there?
So I'm from Milwaukee, so I really wanted to go to like whenever I decided to do it, I wanted to go to a great school, not some little, you know exactly what I'm trying to say. Just like the little schools that they have where like it's untrained people training people. Like I didn't want any of that. So I did research, and it was either Mr. Kennedy's school in Minnesota or Seth Rollins here in Davenport. So funny enough, me and my best friend were taking like a little road trip out here in Davenport because she had also wanted to go to the school. So we were just here checking it out. We took some pictures outside the Black and Brave school. I texted my mom. I was like, look, like it's so cool. Look at all the belts on the wall. Look at the ring. Like, and at this point I wasn't ready to sign up. Like I wasn't financially stable. Like I definitely was not like physically or mentally ready. And I send these pictures to my mom, and she texts back and she's like, sign up. And I'm like, what do you mean sign up? I'm like, I don't have the money for that. She was like, sign up right now on the website and I will help you pay for it. So I was like, okay. So we get back to our hotel here in Davenport, and I go on the Black and Brave website, and I put in this application. We have to send in like physique pictures of ourselves, and like I'm not very big. Like I've always just been like skinny, just like underweight, like kind of tall, but just tiny. So I was like, there's no way I'm gonna get in. So the next morning, I woke up and there was an email from Merrick Brave, and it was like, "Congratulations, you got accepted for fall of 2024." And I was like ecstatic. I was so excited. I called my mom, like she started crying. It was like a whole thing. But yeah, she pretty much pushed me to sign up when I didn't even think I was ready.
That's actually really great that you had that kind of support for. I mean, we'll just say, well, in general, first of all, but just for something like wrestling, because wrestling doesn't have quite the respect of, well, any sort of career that involves college or anything of the like, and
Correct.
and just the fact that going to wrestling school ultimately doesn't guarantee anything like whatsoever. Whereas, I mean, if I'm comparing apples to oranges, like you usually get a tolerable paying job. You know, you get a degree in you, and wrestling is not glamorous by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, I
But
think what helped was like over the years, like my mom and my dad both just saw like my growing love for wrestling. Like my walls were plastered with wrestling posters, like literally wall to wall. I took them out of the WWE magazine. You know, they were all over my wall. You know, all I wanted for my birthday was action figures and shirts and whatever other merch was coming out, you know, at that time. And that's literally all I wanted. I wanted a WWE themed birthday when I was 15, and I got it. My life like was and like just still is just wrestling. Like and I don't know. I guess they believed in me. So thank you and shout out to them.
shout out indeed. Again, it's great to have that support, and I mean the ability for them to help out to ultimately live your dream.
Absolutely. Yeah, I could not be more grateful for them and helping me out with that. And just I didn't know if I was ever going to get here just because money just sucks.
And it's expensive, but I want you talked about not kind of being physically ready for wrestling school. Like, how hard was it once you got in? Because I know, I mean, in general, but like with the SCW Pro guys that have trained at the Black and Brave, they always talk about kind of like the first week being just a general hell week because one, you're never prepared for wrestling cardio, and then two, just the fact that like no, normal person works out that much in that span of time.
Yeah, so this is kind of like I laugh on it now, but at the time it was just awful. So here's my story. So basically before our conditioning test, um I decided to stay in a hotel because I didn't know if I would make it past the first day. So I had my mom come out and stay in a hotel with me. So I go to bed at like 11 p.m. the night before. I wake up at 2 a.m., like full, like panic attack mode. Like I'm crying, I'm shaking, I start like throwing up everywhere because I'm so scared. So I ended up like I was like I don't want to do this, like I can't do this. And like I was telling my mom like I wasn't going to make it, like I'm too small, like I'm the only girl in this class, like I'm just nothing's going to come of this. So she literally had to force me to go to the first day. So I went on like 2 full hours of sleep, no food, just like a gallon of water, like post panic attack. I was still shaking cuz you know, my blood sugar was super low. And once I got there, it was like something like a switch just turned on. Like I walked in the doors, I saw Seth, I saw Merrick, I saw my classmates, I saw Matt Mayday, like, and something inside of me was like I can't bitch out now. Like I'm here. Like that's gonna be so embarrassing. So I made it through the first day. It was the worst thing I have ever done. I will never do it again. I don't have to, but if someone was like, "Would you ever do that again?" No. And then just after that, it was kind of, you know, we'd taken off. The first week was ex- extremely just gruesome, like for me personally. The only girl, I'm really small compared to everyone else. I'm like one of the only people with no experience in my class. But luckily, my class, and I always tell people this, and I can never like express it enough, that was like the best group of people I could have asked for. My classmates were literally like God's gift. They were so helpful. They were always willing to help me when I was having trouble. They never judged me for not getting something down or not being able to do, like this certain move or, whatever. Like, I would not have made it through this course if it wasn't for my classmates. And I stand on it. And as hard as it was, like, I did it. And I always tell people, if I can do it, like, you can do it. And I tell that to the new students coming in. I'm like, look, like, I had the worst experience ever within these first couple weeks, but it does get better. Like, and a lot of that is, being consistent, practicing, but also working out and getting your mind right and eating better, like getting on a better sleep schedule. It's all about, putting yourself first and being consistent. And I'm really happy with the progress I've made since I've been here. So I have so many people to thank, but
Well, I feel like that's kind of like like at its best, that's indicative of wrestling, because almost everything you do in wrestling involves the cooperation and, I mean, the teamwork, no pun intended, of everyone around you. Whether we're looking at proper ring announcing, the referee, your opponent, manager, etc., 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 to like make a tight knit group, at least for one night only. At least the differences in case of the training, like you have a whole group to hang out with as well. And at this point, I mean, the crew at Black and Brave have been doing this for, I mean, close to a decade at that point. This past year was 10 years, I think. Time means nothing anymore. Or last year was 10 years, and this year 11. I don't know. I'm digressing, and I'll just chop chunks of that out as I trail off incoherently. But that being said, but no, it outside of that first day, first week, sounds like you've had an overall positive experience, which is great to see, because you hear so many horror stories otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the first couple weeks doing anything new, especially something so like physically and mentally demanding as wrestling, is gonna suck. Like, sure, some people might pick it up faster, but like someone's always gonna struggle with something. Like, no one's gonna be perfect at everything. But as time went on and I wasn't, scared to ask for help anymore, and I realized that everyone was there to see me succeed, like it got easier. Like, yes, I did get injured a couple times during training, but I learned from those mistakes and I just pushed myself to get better.
And of course, Black and Brave is synonymous with Seth Rollins, but as I get the graduates of the Black and Brave on here, like I really try to put over the fact that yes, it's Seth's the bigger name, but he's out being a WWE superstar. That is more than a full-time job in and of itself. And so like the core training is done by Matt Mayday and Merrick Brave. What was it like working under Merrick and Crotch?
Oh my gosh, they are just not only the best trainers, but like the best people. Like, they treat all of us like as their own like children, pretty much. Like, I feel like not only are they like a coach, a trainer, a friend, but honestly, I kind of see them as like a father figure to me. Cause like moving away from Wisconsin, I'm not by my dad anymore and I miss my family all the time, but I feel like I found a family and like a father figure in Merrick and Matt. Like, they're always willing to listen, whether it be wrestling related or not, and they're always just so open to hearing, whatever I have to say. And they are just incredible human beings. You can tell that they love this business like no other. They truly love their students. Like, they don't just, train them and then send them off. Like, they want us to, stick around and be on SCW and, just be part of this family that they've created. And like, I could talk about them all day. They're wonderful.
And then, of course, the obligatory, what was it like training with Seth Rollins? Not to downplay his participation in his own school, but again, he's the big name that everyone cares about, and I'd be remiss if I didn't at least reference working with him a bit.
Yeah, I mean, Luckily, we were in a time period during our class where Seth Rollins was written off of TV because of the Bronson Reed feud. So we actually got to have like a lot of time with him in person. And he just had a lot of free time and he would always give us honest feedback and critiques. And even if he couldn't make it to class that day, like he would zoom in and watch our matches. He was there on our promo day and gave really good advice there. And what's nice is like after you graduated, like you can reach out to him at any time, send him a match, send him a promo, just ask him a question. Like he just sent me some really good feedback on my first singles match that I had. So I love that even though he might not be around as much as people would think, like he's very accessible and you can tell that like he also cares because you see on his Instagram he's posting all of his students like one by one and giving them like credit and really pushing them out there, to make way for the next generation that could be signed. So I really think that he just truly loves his students as like I haven't seen in any other school. Like it's really cool. He's a really down to earth guy. Like he's not who you see on TV at all. Like he doesn't come to the gym wearing flashy outfits. He's not singing on his way in. Like he's got coffee in one hand, his shoes half off. Like, hi guys. Like he's just so normal, and I love him for it.
Well, I say this often, like surprisingly often on the podcast, but the whole flashy outfits things, he stole that from Merrick. So that's
Yeah, fashionista Merrick is. Oh, it's definitely like the seedling of where Seth is at now, and it's cool because I actually got to see Merrick live that gimmick at a show in Iowa a couple months ago where he had like his 20th retirement match. So that was really cool to see.
20th until next month, right?
Yeah, right. Until something else comes up and he's like, wait a second, I'm not done.
Oh, it's an anniversary show. Better bring back the OG SCW crew for a match.
Right.
I don't want to sound like I'm putting him down, but like let's be realistic. Let's be realistic. Nobody truly retires from professional wrestling unless
he's never gonna be
unless that doctor like hammers that note on their on your forehead that says you will die if you do this.
Yeah, as much as he's hurting every day, like when I got to see him like play the fashionista at Iowa Underground, like he was just so into it, and I could just tell how happy he was, and it's just awesome to have a coach that just truly loves the business so much that you will sacrifice what health you have left and go out and put on a show.
And I want to put over just briefly, like how at least locally how over the fashionista persona is.
Yes.
In the area, like it's always great seeing Merrick step back in the ring, but like, and he gets a good pop out of it. But like the rare occasion he breaks out the fashionista, the crowd just absolutely loses it.
It's so good.
It's so crazy because it's almost like this perverse like Faces of Foley, like Cactus Jack is back, except Cactus Jack is now a very flamboyant man in faux fur and boa.
Yeah, it was like when we were in class, he would talk all about this fashionista, and we were all like, oh man, like we're never gonna see that. So when he came out as the fashionista at Underground, I kind of was having like a little fangirl moment. I was like, oh my god, the fashionista's here. Like I've never seen him before, and it's just Merrick. But it was so cool.
I want to talk about Underground in a minute because I think it's a very interesting promotion. But I just want to also throw out there, I don't think I've mentioned the show before, but like next time Merrick wrestles, I want him to break out the zombie singlet. I miss the zombie singlet.
Oh gosh, I don't know anything about that, but now I'm curious.
I mean, there's nothing super special about it, but like he just like it's been like 10 years. It'd been right like around 2013-ish. He used to just wear like an Olympic style singlet, and it was just like had like zombies and like bullet holes well, not actual bullet holes, but like those bullet hole print like on it, like, and it was just like, dude, what is this even?
Merrick in a singlet hurts my brain. Like I don't even know if I want to imagine that.
Like that was my
but I do now. I do.
So that was my introduction to him.
Oh my goodness.
Way back in the day when I'm like, I'm an adult now. I can drive wherever I want to go watch wrestling wherever I want. I'm gonna go to the beer stoop and watch wrestling. Uh, so I did. But also, once again, dating myself. But Iowa Underground, I really want them to hold a show that jives with my schedule, because it's such kind of like a fascinating like environment that they just go to the small, like, kind of like, I don't want, they're bigger than dive bars, but just full out punk rock places, basically. No ring, fighting all over the place. So I know you're pretty young into your career, but like, your training in theory is mostly in a ring. So what's it like, going from like a traditional wrestling environment to, say, an Iowa Underground where anything goes, there's no ring, you just go fight?
So the funny thing is that Iowa Underground was like my first match. I had not competed in a ring yet, but someone's car had broke down and 2 people weren't gonna make it. So I went there because I thought I would be valeting for Calvin Kelly and Cash Kennedy that night. And they come up to me and they're like, someone's car broke down. We need you to fill in. How would you feel about being in a tag match? Like, what gear do you have? And my gear still wasn't in the mail yet. I didn't have any gear yet. I didn't bring my knee pads. I didn't bring anything. I was not prepared. I brought like my jean shorts and like a little tank top, and I brought the sneakers and like the tights I was gonna valet in. So when they told me that, I was like, oh brother, like anxiety turned on right away. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm about to have my first match, and I didn't even know it was happening. And like, what's cool is that Merrick was on the show, so I got to get a little pep talk from Merrick, and he was like, it's gonna be really easy, really short, like, you're gonna be just fine. So it was definitely cool to have him there. I shared a drink with him before the show to calm the nerves, so that was cool. But Iowa Underground just has such a cool just vibe in there. Like, obviously everyone's drunk out of their mind, but like everyone's so damn excited. Like, sometimes at indie shows, like, you'll have like some quiet moments and it's kind of awkward. Like, that was not the case at Underground. Like, everyone was loud all the time. So, when we made our entrance, me and Drake Holloway, it was really cool because it was literally my first match and I was a babyface, so people were cheering for me. And the only thing I had done up to this moment was my stuff with Animosity, where I would normally be booed. So I came out, people were cheering for me. They're like, oh my God, there's a girl in the tag match. And like, once I came out, I was like, I'm going to be just fine. Like, nerves went away instantly. We did our thing. It hurt a lot. I did a Meteora through a table without knee pads on the concrete floor, and my knees were paying for it for several weeks. My knee was just busted open, like, took a boot right to the face, thought my nose was broken mid-match. I ended up spraining my finger, but it was so fun, and I was so, like, hyped up on adrenaline, like, I didn't even know until after the match. That's when I was, like, hurting. But it was just so fun to be able to, like, experiment with things that you can't do in a ring, like, under normal rules. And it was just so fun. Like, I got to, do the match with my really close friends and just have a lot of fun with it and, get cheered by the fans for once. And it was really fun. I can't wait for the next Underground show. I know they have an announcement coming up regarding Underground, so keep an eye out. But yeah, it's so much fun. I'm so grateful I got to be part of it. And, if anyone in like the Iowa area is just looking for something different or literally just something to do, like, you don't even have to be a wrestling fan or know the rules, because there's no ring, there's no rules. So you're literally just there watching people get beat up while having a drink. Like, that's awesome to me.
I had Calvin Kelly on the show was it last month, I think, and he just totally bought in on it. It's just violence for the sake of violence.
Yeah,
a bunch of hot young people looking to party and get violent. And like,
that's Calvin's scene right there.
Yeah. Oh no, that he said that he was surrounded by his people, and like, like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, we talk wrestling an awful lot, like, in the household with my friends, and like, I never realized that Calvin Kelly, like, despite his persona when he comes to the ring, which I saw on social media what he wore that night. Like, you shouldn't feel bad about like your attire not having gear, because Calvin was just wearing two different sets of shorts.
I know.
Like the shorter, skimpier shorts over the bigger shorts. So I mean,
Yeah,
no offense intended to him, but like, somehow I dress better than that, and like,
yeah.
you have to try to dress better. You don't even have to try to dress better than me. Like, but
I remember like his and like Cash's attire was just kind of thrown together, just like mine, because Cash wasn't even supposed to be wrestling that night because he was recovering from a broken orbital bone. But since two people couldn't make it, me and Cash kind of had to fill in. So it was just really an on the spot match. But we had so much fun. We made it work, and I can't wait to get my rematch because they're going down.
well, there we go. Well, I mean, SCW Pro dips their. I guess they're not champs anymore. I was about to say, like, you get a tag title shot if hook up with Bonhart, or if Mark Storm has anyone else secretly waiting in the wings, because no one knew about your existence until you
No,
just like
nobody did.
just showed up out of the crowd one day, like everyone's just. I mean, now we're coming around, like, looping around the timelines a bit, but you just kind of just showed up out of the crowd and no one knew who the hell you were.
I
Like,
did, and it was amazing. Like, I made friends with the fans that were sitting next to me. It was this really nice couple, and I actually like really enjoyed talking to them. So when they saw me get up and just dart in there, they were
that's not supposed to happen.
like they were just like they felt so betrayed. Yeah, but it was awesome. Like, it was like dead silence, but then just a chorus of boos, because who is this bitch that's coming out of the crowd to ruin the main event? Me. So I'm glad I got to ruin everyone's evening that night. I couldn't have asked for a better debut. I thought that was awesome.
No, and because we're trained, especially as fans, to you don't cross the guardrail per se.
Mm-hmm.
Not that there's a guardrail in most indies, but you don't hop in the ring. So, like, obviously, like, there's that brief moment where we're like, oh shit, shit's going down, and then we're like, oh no, and then you're crushing our dreams by helping, like, arguably the biggest douchebag in SCW Pro, John Bonhart, and his equally diabolical handler in the form of Mark Storm.
Yeah, and shout out to Josh C for letting me ruin his match. Like, he doesn't come around a lot, and
Oh,
he just let me be slimy and a bitch, and so thanks to him, he was really helpful in calming down the nerves too, because I didn't want to mess anything up. So Josh C's great.
I've heard nothing but great things about Jossie, and it makes me sad that he doesn't come around these parts terribly often anymore. Sad face. But you gotta spread your wings and fly, and
Right.
Davenport, Iowa, or now
Right.
by proxy, Bluegrass, Iowa, which is now the home of SCW Pro, and
If you
stuff
love
for everyone.
something, let it go.
And he's out there killing it. Like,
He is.
so no complaints there. So I don't know how far you want to pull back the curtain, but how did you end up under the tutelage of Mark Storm, though? Because again, this just came out of like nowhere. There was no like promos leading up to it. Like,
Right.
there wasn't even any teasing of like, oh, I got someone waiting in the wings. Like, there was just
Right.
nothing.
It was a complete shock, and I think that is just like the brain of Mark Storm. Like, he's so smart. I love to pick his brain. He's so knowledgeable. But honestly, it coming off as like a complete surprise, I think was kind of better than teasing it. Like, why spoil it? But I remember we were tearing down a show for Wildwood in December, and we were tearing down the ring, and I had done like some camera work that night because Merrick didn't have anything for me to do yet. And it was actually all Mark Storm's idea, and he comes up to me, and I hadn't really talked to him a lot, so it was kind of a shock that he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, like, I have a proposition for you." Like, and I was like, "Yeah, of course. Like, let's hear it." And he was just really how do I even put this? He said that I fit their vibe very well. We're kind of like these outcasts, punk, rock, just I don't know, whatever you want to call it, emo, metal, goth, whatever you want to call it. just super out there, aren't afraid to get their hands dirty. Like, he just saw something in me that fit with them. And I was like, yeah, like I 100% agree. And he said that he had talked to Merrick about, like bringing me in as a valet just to get my foot in the door because as you know, like a lot of, other females don't come around SCW as often. And that's okay. Like I love to see everybody go where they want to go. Um so I thought it was a great idea. I was like, absolutely. Like, I think this would, really benefit me, like being in front of a crowd and just being out there and working a crowd first. So it was all his idea. And then, by the next month, they put together something for me for the show. I was a crowd plant. I was, decked out in my Animosity little outfit in the crowd. And I just enjoyed the show like a fan. And, then the rest is history. So it was all Mark Storm's idea. And I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think it was a pretty damn good idea.
I mean, toot away. That's the point of these podcasts, right? For the guests to put themselves over. So, but I think overall, like, it's kind of a brilliant strategy, kind of like put forth, especially for someone who's so young into their career, as well. Because if like for I will okay, how do I phrase this without getting myself in trouble? If they don't feel like there's a spot for you on the card in ring, like the next best thing to get experience is just to go out there and be a valet, or well, in your case, you're going to be just as much as a heat getter as the rest of the crew. So you don't have to necessarily worry about putting on the full match and all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And also in terms of like figuring out like who you are, where you're going with it. I mean, Mark Storm just like I'm not even like properly in the business, and like I pick his brain when I have the opportunity. Like I don't DM him and go like, hey, but like if I see him, like I'll be like, hey, so there's something like it piques my curiosity and insert question here, and like he's usually pretty good about answering it as long as it doesn't doesn't pull back the curtain too terribly much.
Right.
But he's so smart, and he gets heat. He gets nuclear heat.
How can you not hate him? I mean, he's a bitter old bald man. Like I'd hate him too if I was on the other side. Like
those shoes alone. The shoes alone. That's his new gimmick. Is his sparkly shoes.
I love his sparkly shoes. I really do. I love everything about him.
No, they're great. And they just they fit the vibe somehow, despite the fact that like despite the fact that he's always kind of just been like, I mean, like for the most of his career been like kind of like sports agent attire-ish, and now he's just kind of like letting himself go a little bit flashier as well.
I love it. I love it so much. I feel like his outfit speaks for him.
And then of course putting over John Bonhart as well, who's just he also gets nuclear heat, and I want to smack him every time I see him. It means he's doing his job well, by the way. But
yeah, John he's amazing. He's so talented, and he hasn't even been in the business for as long as you would think he's been. Like he's super athletic, super charismatic, but he plays a big part in like training with me. Like he always calls on me to help him with stuff, but then he comes and helps me with my stuff. Like he's so giving, and I can just tell that like he wants to see not just him but like our whole group and like really just everyone from the school succeed. Like he's just so cool, down to earth. Like whenever I'm like getting nervous about going out for a show, he's like, you're fine. Like just so nonchalant. He'll be like, you're gonna walk out there and you're gonna be just fine. And like I need someone nonchalant by my side because I'm gonna get worked up real fast and real anxious. So he is just also awesome. I love him to death.
Well, and again, the plus side of having both him and Mark Storm out there is like they can start the party, and then all you got to do is just if worst comes to worst, just get that low hanging fruit and just you're ugly, you're stupid.
Yes.
And by proxy, like the fact that like you're with them and then you did some minor lame insults, like you're gonna get all the residual hatred off of that too.
I think we have the potential to be bigger and more hated than the Chosen, because it looks like the Chosen are kind of on their downfall, so they better just move out of the way.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong, proud supporter of the Chosen. Eric Esnight is like the only 2-time guest on this here program.
Wow.
But like, dare I say, do I get myself some heat, brother? But I don't know, Casey Jacks, man. I don't know if that's best addition to the team.
They're all sheep. See, we as Animosity, we are a family and we work together. They are all sheep following Eric. And what does Eric have to show for it anymore? Nothing, because he got his ass beat by Suge.
Suge.
So
I lectured him about that too, because I'm a jerk. I'm like, I told you a year ago not to trust that Shane Hollister. I've been watching Shane Hollister since 1982.
Way to throw Shane's age out there.
I was watching Shane Hollister back in Pekin, Illinois, in the Avanti's Dome, when Tracy Smothers forgot where Shane was from and claimed he was from Illinois. And obviously Tennessee was better than Illinois. And us crowd, we liked it that way. Any ageism we could go out there just goes out the window if I can tie it into Tracy Smothers, because Tracy Smothers will live forever. Love me some Tracy Smothers, and he did get to work with Tracy Smothers, so that I will always be envious of. But I'll just throw the entire roster under the bus at this point. I don't know any better.
Me too. I can sit here and talk about the roster all damn day. Who do you want to start with?
Oh, we already trashed Casey Jacks. We traced we made fun of Risky Business's ring attire. Called Suge old, even though I'm pretty sure either A, I'm older than him, or B, there is not much difference between our ages at all. But randomly brought up Merrick's
Fashionista, yeah.
Well, no, fashionista is positive, but zombie singlet. Let's see, yeah, so we called the entirety of the Chosen sheep. We haven't made fun of
all day.
We haven't made fun of Cornboy yet, even though this is a Cornboy household. We could probably find something.
Oh gosh, he's too loud for my liking. I'm the only one that's supposed to be loud there. He just annoys me.
He drank a can of corn out of the garbage once.
And you know what? Corn's not even that good. Like,
oh, that's good. That's nuclear heat in Iowa, Illinois, right there.
It's not, is it a vegetable? It's definitely a vegetable, right?
Yes,
because it's not even the best vegetable. If he really wants to get over it, he should be like cauliflower boy or something, because that's where it's at.
Oh no, I feel like cauliflower is the thing that makes you the biggest heel, because that's all the veggie people love, and now we're trying to replace real rice with cauliflower. And though I will give cauliflower love, because like if you do it right, it's actually a surprisingly good pizza crust.
Oh, it's so good. But back to Cornboy. I mean, he lost to John Bonhart. So what else is there to say? He's just one of the many that have lost.
Oh, I was gonna say, well, I mean, if that's the measuring stick, I mean, that's like actually that bar's pretty high, because John's held gold for a vast majority of his SCW Pro
Stake
career.
Dante Leon right in there too.
There we go.
He just lost too.
There we go.
Street Fight even. You can be as cool and as Will Ospreay copy as you want to be. You still can't win. You
should just go back to playing acoustic guitar in the coffee shop. I think that's the first time I've ever said that on the podcast. I've been saying that for 10 years too. Oh, you've brought out the worst in me, or the best. I don't know which.
That's what I do, right? That's why I'm here. That's why Mark Storm brought me on board.
There we go. I pitched, but like getting everybody's schedule down. Like I tried to get the three of you on. I don't know like what like damage that would have done, but like I just thought it'd been fun. But heck, I can't get like my real friends together for one night of like games or whatever. Yeah. So trying to get three people in the wrestling business together.
I mean, we'd all love to. It's just scheduling conflicts.
Oh yeah, and we all got real lives, or like I pretend to have a real life anyway.
Unfortunately,
yeah. Right. Oh dear, that got off the rails. So I would say quick, but we've been at it for like 40 minutes.
That's okay. That's what I do.
Hey, now, well, you just started in the business. Might as well just let it go off the rails. And we can, I, I mean, if I can continue name dropping people like Theseus is just like, I did a casket match. I've never done one before. They told me, like, I found out the same time you found out about it. Now we're
Yeah.
just like randomly booking, and then after that we just like started randomly booking like elimination chambers because he really wanted to do an elimination chamber, and he was like the smallest guy in it. Like he was just him and monsters. So it was like bad, it was like bad 2K like booking
Yeah.
out of a video game,
Like a
but
randomized match, pretty much.
pretty much it was just like him, his hated rival, and then like Bronson Reed, Kane, like anybody like 400 pounds, like nearly 400 pounds that we could think of, and just,
Yeah.
it was a glorious train wreck. But
I love it.
but all right, try to reel it in because one, respectful of your time, and two, you referenced I don't know how long it's been at this point, but having your first singles match recently. So like, how big of a deal was that for you?
Oh, it was such a big deal. I mean, like I loved Underground. I will always love Underground. I can't wait for the next one, but like I was really itching to get in a ring and really apply the skills that, I had actually been taught in class and not putting people through tables and little bars. But yeah, I mean, the girl I was working with, Allie Quinn, she was really, really nice, and she's been in the business longer than I have, so I kind of let her take the reins on it. Sadie Bell was also there. She's also part of the company that it was at, Next Level in Nebraska, so she was helpful. And Nino Hatchet, who is like a part wrestler, part trainer, kind of jack of all trades. I know he's at Magnum in Nebraska a lot, but he was a really big help too in putting together the match because I'm not super confident in my match building skills yet. So they were all a really big help. It was kind of the same story as Underground. Like I got my gear on and, we were behind the curtain and, the jitters started and, the legs were shaking and, I was like, oh boy, like I'm about to go out there and all eyes are going to be on me. And, once I stepped through the curtain, uh, is off to the races. I was still a little bit nervous, like you could kind of tell in like the video, like I don't really know what to do in my entrance. Like, do I hit this taunt button or this taunt button? Like, I don't know. So, but I definitely got more comfortable as the match went on. Seeing Allie in the ring across from me definitely put my mind at ease to know, like, I'm not alone in this. Like, you're never alone in a wrestling match. Like, you are always going to have someone to back you up. Our referee Rudy Diamond, he was awesome. Like we had like a mini feud of our own going on in there. Like I threw my jacket at him, I chased him around with my fox ears, like, and he played into it awesome. Like I got like my first like big, I guess like pop of heat you could say was when I was making fun of him. So I was like, all right, let me make fun of this vet ref and this will get the crowd going. They'll just absolutely hate me, their little hometown hero referee.
Oh,
So that was cool. And we did the match and we didn't forget anything, which is kind of my big thing with wrestling is I don't want to forget anything or, hurt somebody. Like that's main priority is keeping, myself but my opponent safe. Nobody got injured. And we got through it and it went a lot faster in there than I thought it was going to. Like I was getting pinned and it was over. And it's just like a collective like sigh of relief after I got pinned, but also like a pat on the back. And it was like, you just had your first singles match. Like, and nobody, it wasn't a tag team. It wasn't like a triple threat. Like you just had your first singles match where it was all about you and it was all about your opponent. And that's what I think was really cool for me is, spotlight was on me, spotlight was on Allie, and we did the thing. And she ended up winning the brand new title that they just introduced, their first women's title in the company. And I got a rematch against her next month, so I'm taking that shit home with me, and we'll see where it goes from there.
there we go. Hopefully, nothing but up. But at least you've gotten some of the best minds on the indies. Giving you tips. Mark Storm's worth his weight of gold all by himself, and that's discounting. How hands on the Black and Brave trainers are, even still, like, with their students after the fact. But to be respectful of your time and whatnot, it's great having you on. I'm looking forward to see the trajectory of your career.
Thank you.
And and if nothing else, at least locally, seeing what havoc Animosity is going to wreak throughout SCW Pro.
You haven't even gotten a sliver of what we're planning. I'm just going to put it out there right now. Everyone, whoever is watching this and is an avid follower of SCW, just keep your eyes and ears open. We're everywhere.
There's a reason Mark Storm is known as the devil, Just throw that out there.
And if you ever want me on the podcast again, I will be happy to tie Eric Esnight's record because he's old news. So
we just like somehow like sneak you on just like every week. You just like pop in out of nowhere, like just to say you're like the story of Warren Beatty keeping the copyright to Dick Tracy. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
That's just, you're just gonna just like pop up randomly just to record keep everyone else down.
Perfect.
Do that.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
So we'll get you out on where can we find you in person in the next coming weeks, and where can we find you online?
I will be I'll be helping out at Chicago Style tomorrow, but I'm not on the card. But SCW on Saturday at Bluegrass. John Bonhart will not be making an appearance because Bluegrass sucks, and he has a booking that is more worth his time. But Mark Storm does have something to say on Saturday, and I will be out there, so it'll be good. Just keep your ears open. And as far as social media, I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's all the Tori Fox. So I'm everywhere. If you want to keep up, buy an 8x10, support your favorite. I don't know. We'll see.
Burn the world down and see what's left.
Big things coming. I'm manifesting.
But thank you for coming on the show. It was a blast.
It was great, shooting the shit with you. I had a lot of fun. So thank you so much.
The Confusion Wrestling Podcast is a weekly podcast that is written and performed by Rob Kammer and hosted by Spotify for podcasters. The background music for this section is Ruined by Day, performed by Alan Schroeder. If you enjoyed this podcast and would like to help support, please like, subscribe, and tell your friends, family, and enemies. Leaving a review is helpful as well, because word-of-mouth advertisement is very important for us small podcasts. My social media links can be found in the description, but Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky are at The Nova of Cass. That's TheNovaofCass, and Facebook is MLW Confusion, all one word. If you'd like to support monetarily and help upgrade my equipment, please check out my virtual tip jar at ko-fi.com/Casanova, or if you prefer more bang for your buck, go to patreon.com/Casanova, that's CASSONOVA, where for as little as $2, backers get access to the podcast early and without those pesky ads, plus other exclusive content. So join the crew that is headed up by Keith Wynn, Alan Schroeder, Chris Zach, and Elenia, and check it out. You can also find t-shirts, coffee mugs, and other merch at the Confusion Podcast store on Teespring. Also, be sure to check out the affiliate links in the description below. For business inquiries such as ads, sponsorships, and etc., please email rzkamer, Kamerer, at comcast.net. Thank you all for listening.